What is going on, everyone? Welcome back to TTP Sports. The Phillies get the sweep, the four-game sweep of the Cincinnati Reds, and Aaron Nola was special tonight, getting the complete game shutout, 11 strikeouts. The offense, even though there were lineup changes in tonight's game, they did not have to do that much. Only score 4 runs because Aaron Nola was just on a completely different level in tonight's game. He was special. He was vintage Aaron Nola. He was 2018 NL Cy Young Aaron Nola on the mound tonight. And that was a great bounce back start for Nola after the shaky one that he had in the last series against the New York Mets. And hey, maybe that, spot start by Christopher Sanchez to give, the starters an extra day of rest maybe helped Aaron Nola out there a little bit. But there's also some other news with Zack Wheeler getting, right forearm, I believe, tendonitis. So he's going to be on the 15-day DL. So that sucks. But Dave Dombrowski did say that he only expects him to miss 2 starts upcoming, and he will be back at the beginning of September. I believe it was like September 5th or 6th, something around those 2 dates. So sucks to see Wheeler go down on the IL, but the Phillies were able to do all this winning without Bryce Harper and all this stuff. I think they can survive a little fine without Zack Wheeler. And also, speaking of Bryce Harper, huge news. Basically, the worst kept secret because of the way he was hitting the past 2 nights in Lehigh Valley. Bryce Harper is going to be activated tomorrow, and he's most likely going to make his return to the Phillies lineup since, fracturing his thumb in that game against San Diego. My goodness, I am pumped for that tomorrow. I bought my ticket already behind home plate. Man, I am excited to see Bryce Harper tomorrow. Sadly, Zack Wheeler won't be on the mound. He was scheduled to pitch tomorrow. It's going to be Bailey Falter instead. But Bryce Harper's making his return. That ballpark is going to be jamming. Excited, pumped up to see Bryce Harper's return in a Phillies uniform. And man, I can't wait for it. I can't wait for Bryce Harper to return, how much he can bolster this lineup. And I'm just excited for this last stretch of the year. This is a good way to bounce back from that, getting spanked by the Mets in that 4-game series. You follow that up by sweeping a team that is under 500. And that's basically what you've been doing the entire season, taking care of business against teams that are bad, teams that are worse than you. And that is what previous Phillies teams were not able to do over the past couple of seasons. They weren't able to beat the bad teams. This year, they've been taking care of business against those bad teams, especially in 4-game series too. Whether they have a 4-game series in Pittsburgh, they swept them. 4-game series or 4-game series at home against the Nationals, they swept them. And this 4-game series here against the Reds, they sweep them. So yeah, good series, good bounce back. You get your 70th win of the year, and you get some room in the wild card standings because the Padres and the Brewers didn't play tonight. So now you move 2.5 games above the San Diego Padres for that second wild card spot. So there's breathing room right there. And if you want to factor in the tiebreaker, so technically it's 3.5 games above the Padres if you want to be technical about that. But still, Phillies put themselves in a good position, and they got themselves a sweep tonight on the hands of Aaron Nola just being absolutely dominant. And that was very, very, very fun to see. So yeah, before we get into the rest of this game, everyone, if you want to go see Bryce Harper make his return to the Phillies lineup tomorrow or just this weekend in general against the Pirates, I really recommend you using that code TTPSPORTS, $20 off your first purchase at SeatGeek. Use it for anything you can think of. Really use it to see Bryce Harper make his return. Come on, boys. Come on. You want to go down to Citizens Bank Park? You want to make that ballpark electric? You want to go see Bryce Harper possibly hit a home run in his first at bat in a Phillies, since being injured? Man, I want to see it. I want you to see it. So use the code TTP Sports, $20 off your first purchase at SeatGeek today. And then also, if you want to leave a text or a voicemail at the hotline, you can leave it at the number 215-839-9885. You want to leave your thoughts and opinions there. Want to have your voicemail appear on the stream, get ask any questions, want me to answer them, or just share your thoughts on the game in general. And if you do utilize that option, make sure for the first time that you're doing it, leave your name if you're doing a text or a voicemail, just so I can save that for future references if you want to do it again in a future episode. So yeah, definitely utilize that. You could still utilize the YouTube live feed, comment section, whatever you want to do. It's just another option for the people that want to interact with the show. So there you go. I recommend using the hotline. 215-839-9885 is the number to dial. So yeah, Phillies got a 4-0 win over the Reds. Aaron Nola is simply dominant. 9 innings, complete game, 5 hits, 0 walks, 11 strikeouts on 101 pitches. It got a little dicey for Nola in the 8th or the 9th inning, allowed a couple of base runners, but the 8th inning, after allowing 2 leadoff hits, strikes out the next 3 batters. And then in the 9th inning, allows a couple of hits there, gets a strikeout, gets a ground out as well. So Nola was just simply dominant this entire ball game. Phillies, honestly, offensively, you saw the lineup changes. You see Zimmer get into the lineup. You see Sosa get into the lineup. And those guys actually contributed to the majority of the runs in this game, surprisingly. So it's really the bottom of the lineup that was really chipping in. Alec Boehm got a day off. JT Realmuto gets the day off, so Stubbs substitutes in for him. It was really the bottom of the lineup in this game that really got the job done. Guys like Stubbs, guys like Vierling, Zimmer, Sosa, and Kyle Schwarber. He finally got off the schneid after going so many games without a home run. He absolutely launched one off of the brick wall in center field. So hopefully this gives Kyle Schwarber a little bit more confidence in the box to where he starts going back on that absolute tear of home runs. I'm not expecting anything like he did in June and halfway through July, but if he can get, those home runs more consistently, that'll be very nice to see. Get over that 40 hump for Schwarber. I want to see that out of him, and I think he definitely will. He's at 35 this year. Only needs 5 more to surpass 40, so I do believe he's eventually going to get to that total. Yeah, basically, it was a very quick, quiet night. Honestly, you can consider this a boring game. It was just Aaron Nola dueling, and the Phillies cashed in on the runs when they had their opportunities. You go into that bottom of the 3rd inning, Kyle Schwarber with 2 outs absolutely murders this ball off the center field wall. 35th home run of the year. 451 feet on that home run makes it a 1-0 Phillies lead in that situation. Then you go to the bottom of the 5th inning. Bryson Stott, he reaches, Garrett Stubbs, he reached on a bunt single, and then Zimmer gets a single to move Stubbs over to third base, and then Sosa hits a sac fly, makes it a 2-0 Phillies lead there. And then you go into the bottom of the 7th inning. Matt Vierling gets a single, Zimmer gets a single, and then Sosa on a hit and run attempt, he singles up the middle, scores Vierling, and then on this play, you see, as Sosa hits the ball and it goes through the infield, you see Zimmer slide into second base. But then Zimmer keeps running. Dusty Woffin even waves him around third base, and he somehow scores off of this because the Reds don't know how to play defense. Every time they get a ball in the outfield, they throw it anywhere. They literally throw it anywhere. They don't throw it to the cutoff man. Even if the cutoff man's there, he doesn't catch the ball. They just throw it into nowhere land. That's basically it. Zimmer just hustling around the bases. Sosa 2nd and 3rd RBIs on the night. 4-0 Phillies lead. And basically, Aaron Nola was just doing his job from there from the start of the game. A bunch of 1, 2, 3 innings. Really, he went through a lot of this ball game, only allowing 1 hit. Basically, the only hit between the 1st and the 7th inning was from the 2nd inning, which was a leadoff single. Then you get into the 8th inning, he allows those 2 leadoff hits, but then he strikes out the next 3 guys. Goes into that 9th inning, leadoff hit, strikes out the next 2 batters. Friedel then doubles, but they weren't able to score the run because of, basically, I think Senzel, he pulled his hamstring during the game, so he wasn't able to run as much, so he wasn't able to score off that double. So the shutout still intact. And then Acuna swings at the first pitch, grounds it right back to Nola, and he ends the ball game off to finish the complete game gem. Aaron Nola was on a different level tonight. And that, like I said, it was a really good bounce back from his, sloppy start against the Mets last weekend. So, yeah, big bounce back start, everything there for Nola. And maybe, like I said, that spot start from Christopher Sanchez yesterday, maybe that helps a lot of the other starters out. Helped Nola out a bunch today. But it does really suck to see Zack Wheeler go on the 15-day IL. And it's seriously, too, we're getting all this good news about Bryce Harper and everything like that. And then we get the news bump because the baseball gods don't like us having nice things. You get the Zack Wheeler being put on the 15-day IL, which was retroactive to the 22nd of August with right forearm tendonitis. So like I said, Dave Dombrowski doesn't expect it to be too serious. He only expects Zack Wheeler to miss his next 2 starts. So most likely he expects him to be back in the rotation by September 6th. So most likely That means Bailey Falter is most likely going to slot into the rotation just to replace those Zack Wheeler starts. But most likely just overall, maybe when the September call-ups happen, maybe you call up a guy like a Griff McGarry just to make a spot start to make his major league debut. Wheeler, basically, he's missing 2 starts. I think this rotation can hold out before then. The lineup and everything, they were able to hold out, and this team was able to hold out without Bryce Harper. I'm confident in their ability to hold out without Zack Wheeler. I'm confident in that. Aaron Nola's been 20 times better this year. Yeah, he had that bad start against the Mets last weekend, but he also had a fantastic start against the Mets in Citi Field the previous weekend. Aaron Nola has really been much better than he has been bad this year. And this start tonight proves it. He's been a lot more better than he has been bad. And that's a really good thing to see out of Aaron Nola overall. And like I said, it really sucks to see Wheeler go on the IL. It kind of was, I guess, telling with the way his last couple of starts were, even though he was saying he's felt the best that he has since last year, but it kind of was telling because his last couple of starts, even going before the Mets series, it was that one game against the Marlins where he didn't. I think he only allowed like one or 0 runs. He went 6 innings, but you could kind of tell his location and command were a little off, and it just got even more telling as he played those 2 games against the Mets. It was just like a lot of everything was just out of whack with Wheeler. He just wasn't the same, wasn't locating well or anything like that. So most likely this is the thing that probably is the cause of everything. So I'm assuming they are going to get an MRI on it just to make sure nothing else is wrong. But like Dave Dombrowski, he doesn't expect it to be too serious. He doesn't think it's too serious at all. So he really only expects Wheeler to miss 2 starts. So at the end of the day, that's not the end of the world. You're facing a lot of bad teams upcoming in the next 2 weeks. So I think you can afford to lose a Zack Wheeler during that time. So let him get this rest for this 15-day IL stint and enjoy Bryce Harper coming back tomorrow. You got a weekend series here against the Pittsburgh Pirates. Another series for you to get a bunch of wins here. I think the team's going to be amped up to see Bryce return to the lineup tomorrow. And like I said, I bought a ticket for tomorrow's game. I am pumped up. I'm going to wear my Bryce Harper jersey sitting behind home plate. Going to wait with everything. You know, I want him to hit a bomb here and everything like that on the first swing that he takes. I want to see it. I want to see it wholeheartedly. I want to see that from Bryce Harper. I really do. I really want to see that from Bryce Harper. I'm like trying to bring it into existence. He did that with Lehigh Valley. So hopefully the magic isn't gone there, but I do think there's going to be some magic with Bryce Harper tomorrow. That's just my, thinking there. Maybe he gets a single and then he tries to stretch it into a double. He becomes safe. He gets the whole crowd and the team pumped up. I'm just trying to, bring a lot of this into fruition, trying to make it reality, because that would just be simply awesome. Seeing Bryce Harper doing that in his return. I just want to see that. Man, that would be amazing. That would be absolutely amazing to see. Yeah, looking at the Phillies lineup in today's game as well, Kyle Schwarber, he hits the solo shot in this ball game, goes 1 for 4. Rhys Hoskins had a sluggish night. He went 0 for 4 with 2 strikeouts. Bryson Stott, 1 for 3 in this ball game with a double. Nick Castellanos, his hitting streak ends. He goes 0 for 4 in this game. Gene Segura goes 0 for 3 with a walk. Garrett Stubbs 1 for 3. Matt Vierling 1 for 3. Bradley Zimmer surprisingly 2 for 3 with a run scored. And Edmundo Sosa, he goes 1 for 2 with 3 RBIs. Phillies with runners in scoring position, they were 1 for 3 and they left 4 guys on base. And honestly, this Aaron Nola start is also huge just because it gives the bullpen another day of rest, which they desperately needed because they were so gassed from the Mets series and overall from that, especially with the arms that they lost in Sir Anthony and Corey Knebel. And this bullpen needs as much rest as they possibly can. So it's another huge factor that Aaron Nola went the distance in tonight's game. It gives the bullpen a much-needed rest day, especially when you have Bailey Falter going tomorrow, where he's most likely only going to give you 5-6 innings, and the bullpen's most likely going to get the rest of the back stretch of that game. So, yeah, it's a really good thing that Aaron Nola went the distance in tonight's game. So, yeah, really excited. And I was, in awe watching all this stuff from Aaron Nola in tonight's game. He was just simply on a different level. I don't care if it's the Reds. I don't care what level of team it is. What Aaron Nola did tonight was special, and he was dominant. He was absolutely dominant. Like I said, I don't care what kind of team he was facing. No one was beating Aaron Nola in tonight's game. The curveball was on. That fastball that cuts in on lefties on the inside part of the plate was on. Everything was on for Nola in tonight's game. It was fun to watch. It was so fun to watch, and I was excited the entire time. Man, can't get over it. Really can't get over it. So yeah, if you look at the wild card standings, Phillies are now 70-55 on the year, 15 games above 500. They get a little bit of a break today because the Padres and the Brewers did not play, so the Phillies are now 2.5 games above the Padres in that second wild card spot. Phillies are on a 4-game winning streak, which is nice to see. They're still 7.5 games behind the Braves, so they're not catching the Braves for that first wild card spot. Mainly, it's going to be the Braves fighting the Mets for the first place in the division. So mainly, that's going to be the only thing right now. Phillies, their main focus is this second and third wild card spot. So, and yeah, Padres, they're slumping big time. How many games did the Padres lost? They're 4-6 in their last 10. Same thing with the Brewers. So, Phillies control their own destiny. They're facing a lot of bad teams upcoming. Just continue to win your games. Continue to win your games, and that's all you got to do at this point. And it's going to be fun, especially with Bryce Harper returning. Especially with Bryce Harper returning. Now, if you're talking about the lineup possibly returning for Bryce Harper, you know he's going to be batting 3. And it's going to be really difficult to take Alec Boehm out of that 3 hole just because of how good he has been since Harper, went down. Honestly, if I'm shaping the lineup up, I'd keep Schwarber in the leadoff spot. I kind of don't want to touch that. I put Boehm 2, Bryce 3. Maybe I'd slot Rhys into the 4 hole. JT 5, Castellanos 6. Maybe it's tough. Rhys 4, JT 5, Stott 6th maybe, Castellanos 7th, Gene Segura. It's tough. It's tough because I'm trying to balance it out between the lefties and the righties, but the Phillies do have more righties in the lineup than they do left. So I would do Schwarber, Boehm, Harper, Hoskins, JT. What else? Castellanos, Stott, Segura, and then Marsh or whatever you want to do down there. You can honestly put Stott down there lower in the lineup and bring up Castellanos and Segura. There's a lot of options to do. Definitely a lot of options there in the lineup. So yeah, basically there. A lot of options they can do, but Harper's going in that 3 hole. Harper's going back in that 3 hole, DHing and hitting a bomb in his first at bat. I'm bringing it into existence, boys. I'm really trying to bring that into existence because I'm going to tomorrow's game, and that's exactly what I want to see from Bryce Harper. I really want to see it. Really, 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 really want to see it from Bryce. Like I said, same thing with Kyle Schwarber. Hopefully this home run tonight kind of, wakes his bat up a little bit too. Get him off the schneid with that little bit of a, drought without hitting a home run. I think he's kind of felt a little bit uncomfortable since coming back from that calf injury, but overall, I still think he's fine. It was the reason why Boehm got the day off because he's been dealing with a quad injury the past couple of days, so it really makes sense just to give him the day off for tonight's game. So put Sosa in there. Overall, it was a very solid, clean, great game, and Aaron Nola was just dominant. Aaron Nola was fun to watch. Fun to watch. Yeah, also Brandon Marsh. I just saw this from Star Wars 99. Brandon Marsh had his first rehab game tonight, so he's eventually going to be back into the lineup soon as well. I think they're expecting him maybe for the road trip, possibly next week with Arizona and San Francisco. So he DH'd tonight for Lehigh Valley. He's going to be in the field tomorrow. So it's honestly a nice blessing there, too, that Marsh, his injury wasn't as bad as it looked, and he's able to get into the lineup hopefully quicker rather than later. So that's nice to see that he's on his rehab stint. Well, basically, when you get 2 things back, the baseball gods want to take something down, and sadly, that was Zack Wheeler. Sadly. Maybe you do call a Griff McGarry up for maybe one of those starts that Wheeler's going to miss. September call-ups are going to happen. I kind of do think McGarry's going to get called up. I know people want to see Painter and all that stuff, but I'm assuming getting towards the end of September, they're most likely going to put him on an innings limit because he's just not fully stretched out and everything like that. Maybe the same thing with Bell or Abel. But I would assume Painter gets the innings limit possibly in September. So I would assume they're just going to leave him down in AA. It's most likely, I think, out of all those starters, it's most likely going to get McGarry that gets called up first, especially for these September call-ups this year. Next year could be a different story. I would assume they're going to let Painter, Abel, maybe not Abel. I would assume Painter and McGarry fight for that, end part of the rotation in spring training next year, but it's way down the road. I don't know. I'm just going around things in my mind with a lot of these young guys that could be called up very sooner. So it's a lot of fun things to think about too. But yeah, can't get over Bryce Harper. Can't get over Aaron Nola tonight. Can't get over Bryce Harper returning tomorrow. I am pumped going to the game tomorrow. Man, honestly, I can't. I did buy the tickets before they officially announced that Harper was announced that he was going to be activated tomorrow. So I wonder how much the tickets went up in price on the resale market. I doubt they went up that much just because of who they're playing. It's the Pittsburgh Pirates, so most likely they didn't bring that up that much for the resale market. But maybe they brought them up a little bit. Got mine for like around $75 behind home plate. So be a fun night. Be a fun night tomorrow. Ken says Nola equals efficiency tonight. Home sweep home. Yeah. Really bounce back series. Definitely. So there's 2.5. So the Phillies are 2.5 up on San Diego, 4 in Milwaukee, but it's another game on both because of the season series. Exactly. Saw the Mets have the easiest remaining schedules, so they're probably still winning the division. Braves and Phillies could be a round 1 in the playoffs. And you never know because the Braves, if I'm looking at the standings right now, Braves are only 2 games behind the Mets, so it does make sense. So I do think at the end of the day, the Mets are probably likely going to win the division. That was just basically what it's been like the entire year, in my honest opinion. But you never know what could happen. But yeah, most likely if the playoffs were to start today, the Phillies would play the Braves in a 3-game wild card series. Not sure how I'd feel about that overall, but still playoff baseball at the end of the day. No, Phillies would go to Atlanta if the playoffs started today. So the first and the second wildcard teams play each other, and then the third wildcard spot plays the third best out of division winners. So most likely the Dodgers and the Mets, they're going to get the bye week, and then the Cardinals will play whoever the third wildcard spot is, because the Cardinals technically have the third worst record out of the division winners. So basically that's how they're balancing everything out with the third wildcard spot that they brought in. Lineup this weekend: Schwarber, Bohm, Bryce, JT, Stott, Rhys, Nick Castellanos, Gene, and Vierling. It's a solid lineup. I do like putting Stott up there. No, Stott can really just bat anywhere in the lineup. I would do Schwarber, Bohm, Bryce to start the 1, 2, 3. I'm conflicted with where to put Rhys. Do I put JT cleanup because he has been good in the cleanup spot? Do I put Rhys there? Just, flip him throughout the lineup a little bit, maybe just bring something up. It's tough because then you got Castellanos and Gene Segura batting that low in the lineup. It's a tough decision to make, and that's what makes this lineup so deep, because they got a lot of guys they can shuffle around, and guys that probably should be, guys that could be, higher in the batting order on different teams or lower in the batting order on ours. So I guess it's a good thing to have. Julian says, not a fan of Nola, but he has been a lot better this year. He's the only pitcher to have a shutout in each of his last 3 years. Yeah. Nola's been a lot better this year. Been a lot better. Been a lot better. Yeah. I think that's where we stand at this point. Really not much to talk about. Bryce Harper tomorrow. Can't not talk about that. Make his return. So yeah. Can't wait for that. Cannot wait for that at all. Tomorrow is going to be a very fun day. Very, very, very fun day. Who did the Phillies face on the mound tomorrow for the Pirates? With Bailey Falter on them. I know Bailey Falter's on the mound now since Zack Wheeler is officially on the IL. So they faced Bryce Wilson. He is 2-7 on the year, 5.74 ERA, right-handed pitcher. Did he pitch for the Pirates last time the Phillies played there? No, he did not. So this is the first time the Phillies are seeing him this year. Still, 5.74 ERA. He's a guy that should get crushed. His last couple of starts, pitched good against the Reds, but then, 3 earned runs, 4 earned runs, 3 earned runs. He's the guy that can get hit around. I expect the Phillies, especially with Bryce Harper coming back tomorrow, they're gonna blow up a little bit offensively. That's just my feeling. Just to celebrate Bryce Harper's return. And as I'm looking towards the schedule, Apple TV scheduled another Phillies game. Joy. So I'm looking through this schedule here on ESPN because this is something new. Apple TV, Friday, September 2nd, against the San Francisco Giants. So you're telling me not only we're going to be on an Apple TV game again, it's going to be an Apple TV game at 10:15 Eastern Time against the San Francisco Giants. God. Yeah. Not thrilled for that. Not thrilled for that at all. Not thrilled. Arizona and San Francisco road trip isn't going to be easy. Two places the Phillies have struggled in the past, or they are a much better road team this year. Yeah, I'm confident in this team going down on the West Coast road trip. They've been a lot. They've been good on the West Coast this year. They almost swept the Dodgers in that 4-game series. They won. What did they win the series against San Diego? 3 out of 4. I'm trying to think what other teams they played on the West Coast in the NL West. Colorado. No, actually, they didn't win the Colorado series, but that was earlier in the year when the Phillies were a completely different team with the way they were playing with Joe Girardi. But overall, they've been a lot better on the road this year, and especially they've been really good against the NL West. So they won the series against Arizona at home this year. They did lose that series to San Francisco, but that was when Joe Girardi was still the manager. So 2 different Phillies teams at that point. I'm confident in their abilities. Definitely confident in their abilities going out west. So yeah, that's basically where we stand at this point. If we're looking for the pitching matchups going to the West Coast after this Pirate series, Suarez is the first game in Arizona. Nola is the second game. And then most likely that's going to be Bailey Falta for the third game in Arizona. And then for San Francisco series, it's going to be Gibson, Syndergaard, and Suarez, that series. So you missed Logan Webb against San Francisco, but you are facing Carlos Rodon in the final game of that series. Well, yeah, the Giants definitely have a lot better pitchers. You are going to face Zack, even though you did blow him up in Philadelphia. He's been one of the better pitchers in the month of August. So it's definitely going to be difficult for the pitching matchup side. Well, pitchings that they are facing this week going into that, West Coast road trip. But still, I'm confident in this team's ability. Definitely, wholeheartedly, very confident. So yeah. So what else? Oh yeah, the balanced schedule next year. The MLB did release that. So what is it like? The Phillies play every single team at least once in baseball. They play every team I think they lowered the amount of times you play your divisional games. So it went from 19 to 13, I believe. And then you play the rest of the league, the same amount of times. You play the NL Central the same amount of times, the NL West the same amount of times. But then you do play every single American League team at least once. So it doesn't matter if it's road or at home, you're going to play at least every American League team. So I definitely do like the balancing of the schedule. Definitely like seeing that. And yeah, also MPTR. That doesn't mean less games against the Mets. Less games against the Mets. So I like that. Less games against the Mets. Yeah. I think that's where we stand here, everyone. Phillies got a sweep of the Reds. And now they move on to tomorrow. Pittsburgh Pirates coming to town. Bryce Harper returns to the lineup. Can't wait for it. Cannot wait for it at all. So, it's going to do it for tonight's video, everyone. Thank you for joining the live stream. As always, do not forget to leave a comment in the comment section down below. I like to read those. Don't forget to hit that like on this video. And also, don't forget to check out everything in the description down below. BrodesMedia, Painted Lines. I recommend all that stuff. Also, do not forget to hit that subscribe button. It goes a very long way. Join the TTP Sports family. And also, you'll use the code TTP Sports, $20 off your first purchase at SEATGEEK. Get it for a ticket to this upcoming Phillies series with the Pirates. See Bryce Harper's return. Come on. Do it. Do it. Do it. Do it. Get yourself a ticket to that upcoming return for Bryce Harper. It's a great deal. Do not pass it up. So thank you everyone again for joining the stream. And I will